How beautiful can age difference love? My love for my husband is an age difference love. I am older than my husband. Every time I think about it, it's a stream of beautiful emotions. Obviously, I'm the older sister, but I'm pampered like a child. My boyfriend and I have been in a long-distance relationship for 4 years. At the end of that 4-year period of love, we have now become husband and wife. When I met him, he was 13 years old, I was 15 years old. Again and again, the age gap is not too big, but because the time we met is so early, the age difference is quite obvious. I'm firm, but he's still a squeeze kid. The nose is not clean. At that time he was half a head shorter than me. I never thought that the two of us could love each other, even more unexpected that the child that year would become my husband. But I have no regrets for my choice. He is very nice, the best man I have ever met, but is willing to love an ordinary person like me. My 13-year-old boyfriend and I met at English summer camp. He was dragged along by his cousin, and I was instigated by my best friend in middle school to register. 2 people who did not actively want to join that extracurricular class, lost among so many people. Fate brought the two together for more than 10 years, then got married. Perhaps a few things seem to be predestined. Listen to him, I am his first love. Sitting on the bus, he saw my smiling face, and then unanimously loved. As for me, I noticed him during the self-introduction in class, listening to him bow down to say his name. The sound was just enough. The impression in me was completely a shy, handsome, immature boy. I feel like I have a very good eye for that person. This kid has white skin, red lips, white teeth, looks so calm and upright, looks like he will become a policeman in the future. It's funny to think about. The moment I first saw him, I kept imagining the figure of a soldier in a green suit. At that time, I no longer paid attention to anyone. I kept imagining the shape of the policeman, and then the cases. Unfortunately, he did not later become a policeman like I was paranoid. Smiley face. The first look is like a deep impression. Because my boyfriend at first glance knew that he was younger than other classmates, he was not originally supposed to be in the same class as us. I was curious, gathered around to ask this person, that other. To this day, I still remember his appearance at that time. His face was all red, his eyes did not dare to open wide, but still tried to endure my continuous questions. He very affectionately called the girl next door sister. I deliberately made it difficult, asked him, "Why do you call her sister, but leave us alone?" He blushed and said, "Because she's really my sister." I was dumbfounded. His cousin turned to look at me. Everyone was embarrassed. I could only say with a thick face, "I don't know, you have to call me sister." Actually, I didn't have much hope, just a bit embarrassed with all the advances. Usually in this case, people who loudly make this request like me will be laughed at and slandered by the children. But unexpectedly, he bowed his head and shyly agreed. Damn, this kid also knows how to respect your sister. So fate just kept bringing us closer together. That night, he called, gently reminding this ungrateful sister to take good care of herself, like a good brother. He was so enthusiastic and honest. How could I hurt this child's little soul? Ever since then, I've been completely shaken, thinking that no matter what, I have to get this little brother. I remember, during the parent meeting after the summer camp ended, I even dragged him to my mother, swearing that I had already found a son for her. Now that I think about it, everything seems to have a natural intention. Remember once, in a summer camp class, everyone sat in a circle. He accidentally sat right across from me. As long as I cough, he will definitely look up at me. He hurriedly waved his hand, told me to drink a lot of water. After class, he brought water for me to drink by himself, called me again at night to ask. While drinking water, hot water fell on my hand. He immediately took my hand and gently blew it. I installed a few games in my small Nokia phone. After class, he ran to borrow it again, just played and broke my score record right away. After accepting him as a younger brother, the word sister did not call him many times, but he just liked to stick to me. Later, he also told me that, in addition to those childish tricks, the rest were only tricks to approach me and lead me in the wrong direction. So young, yet so smart. He gradually matured. I also thought that time would fade this childish emotional part, but no, I found out I was wrong. My boyfriend loved me unrequitedly for 5 years straight, sincerely dedicated and liked me, always doing things that make people feel touched. The city I live in has 2 excellent high schools, one is quite close to his house, and also commits him to get into the best class in the school. But because of me, the first time he did not follow the arrangement of his parents, he chose the second school, the same school I am studying. At that time, it was not like he did not have other options for himself. He is very handsome, his achievements and sports are good, there are many female friends who write love letters to him, but he skillfully refuses. Someone asked him why he refused, and he immediately said that he was in love with an older sister. The fact that he said that was discussed a lot. The fact that he liked an older woman was already very strange, plus the fact that he did not hide and avoid it, but it was also very natural, even the teacher. She knows it too. His teachers advised him to study as the most important thing, not to be too passionate about the momentary pleasure. He did not protest. His classmates did not support his feelings, he just let things go the way he wanted. He said, "You all don't understand." On the outside, he appears to be mild-mannered, but on the inside he is extremely tough. I keep my distance, he doesn't know how to skillfully pursue girls. At that time every day, he sent messages, texted and deleted again. In the end he only knew how to remind me that I ate a lot, drank a lot, slept a lot, kept on thinking that I was an idiot who couldn't take care of myself. So worried about his life, I still think so even now. On hot summer days, sometimes he ran to the small grocery store in the school to buy ice cream for me. As a result, when he brought it to class, the ice cream was all melted in his hand. He held up the melted ice cream. "Half of it, he's so cute, I'm both angry and funny, I don't know what to do with this guy." Sometimes, he deliberately looking around in the canteen, expecting to see me. There were a few times when we met for real, he didn't care whether I was shy or not, sat down straight in front of me, just watched me finish my meal. I got goosebumps when I looked at me. I don't dare to appear at the canteen when you're there. He later described that, at that time, he just wanted to deeply record all my images in his head. During those 5 years, I kept advising him not to fall in love early, not to like me, we didn't have any results. He was like a harp on a buffalo's ear, I said despite me, although no longer disturbing my life, but still did not give up. At that time, QQ was still very popular. Every day he came to look at my diary, over and over again. To this day, every sentence in my diary back then, you can read it fluently. The time before he took the exam, just when my love story was in trouble, I wrote a few tragic and heartbreaking sentences in my diary. He could see my status, suddenly sad, so sad that he couldn't do a few questions. Jealousy, heartbreak, anger rushed to his brain. He gave up the exam, asked to take an hour off to go out for a jog. That seemed to be the first time he missed class. Boyfriend is a good young man, not that he doesn't care about achievements, but he said he was too sad, even a word in the title could not be read. I don't understand why he reacts so vehemently. While we haven't communicated for a long time, my life good or bad has nothing to do with him. But I don't know what he's thinking, but he feels like he's the only one in the world who can take good care of me. He decided, even if I didn't like him, he wouldn't give me up to anyone else. He said, "I thought you would be happy so I wished you luck, didn't bother you, but if people can't make you happy, then let me. It's okay if you don't like me, I will use all means to tie you up next to me. Gradually you will like me too." These words, these thoughts, he told me later. At that time, I couldn't advise him, I even spoke harshly, put him on the blacklist, so he could only swallow those words, closed and focus on studying.